Hey everyone, so glad to have you here on this Monday. Today, I am diving into something a little more near and dear to my heart. Typically, on these um, Mondays with Mel's, I really focus on, product education, how to use your oils, all of that type of information. But I wanted to really finish this month with kind of the heart behind doTERRA and, you know, where my, focus and passion all started and how it's really evolved over these last almost 6 years. So I will go ahead and just dive right in. First, I'm Melissa Gaskin. I am a gold leader with doTERRA. I was introduced to essential oils when I was a classroom teacher, and I saw them work wonders with focus and attention and so many things during that first, glimpse into what essential oils were. And after my oldest was born, which was about 6 years ago in this May, I really started researching. And those of you that don't know me personally know that I like to have knowledge. I like to research and identify and dig deeper to understand the why behind stuff. So with the essential oils, I was very skeptical. I mean, I used Bath and Body Works products. I liked the stuff that smelled good. I wore like Ralph Lauren Romance and all sorts of different perfumes and things. And I kept thinking as I was pregnant, like, what about these chemicals in my home for my child? What's the like potential of adverse reactions and what might occur and what can I prevent? And so that was really the beginning of my doTERRA journey is I just wanted something as a mom that I could feel safe and I knew that my kids would be safe in our home and in our environment. So I found doTERRA. I did intensive research. I spent a good amount of time identifying, are there any doTERRA essential oils out there that have ever come back as synthetic? I couldn't find that. They're not. And then I researched other popular companies, many that you find on the shelves of Sprouts or Whole Foods, many that you get from large companies. Many of them have monthly ordering and things like that. And I found synthetics, and this was 6 years ago. Um, I found many reports that were pulled, and there were many organizations at the time that were really revealing and opening the corruption in the essential oil industry. So I went with doTERRA, and little did I know that these little brown bottles would not only impact our family's health and really shift our way of thinking of things in more of a preventative way, but that they impact every single time I use a drop of oil. I think about the farmers and the growers and the distillers and this bigger global impact that truly using these essential oils has. And so I kind of want to share a little bit about doTERRA, about the heart of doTERRA and how it all started. Um, the original founders of doTERRA, they searched for a really long time. Several of them actually left a different company because the essential oils they were providing were not pure. They were not the best out there. And so they searched and searched and searched and would get these small batches and finally found pure essential oils. With the market of essential oils, there are these middlemen called coyotes. And majority of essential oils on the market, they get their essential oils from middlemen. So they don't work directly with the farmers or the growers or anything like that. It comes through a third party. The problem with that is that third party can manipulate, add things, put synthetics in those oils. And so your end product, when you test the end product, it's filled with chemicals and synthetics. Now, when it went to the coyote, was it already like that? Likely not. Those middlemen are trying to make more money because they're not working, they're the ones that are working with these companies because essential oils has become such a trend. So I won't name names, but there's so many companies out there that are working with these coyotes, and these coyotes are shortchanging the consumer. So that is one thing that doTERRA really prides themselves on. And I firmly believe, I have many friends that have gone on sourcing trips and been able to see firsthand these farms, how it's done, walked alongside, these growers and distillers, and really learned directly from, where our essential oils are sourced. Sourcing also depends on so many things. You don't grow pineapples in, your backyard in the middle of Kansas, right? You get pineapples from Costa Rica. You don't, it's that's just a great example right there, because so many times people think, oh, I can just plant some lavender in my backyard and that lavender will be perfect. Well, not exactly. Lavender here is so different in the United States from lavender in Bulgaria and France. Um, it's just a different makeup, different chemical structure, et cetera, which is why different regions in the United States have native plants that are great for that environment, right? Things that grow in Amazon jungle don't grow in the desert, right? And so it's the same thing with essential oils. You go to where the proper pH balance of the soil is, the proper sun, the proper, humidity or precipitation. That's where we source our essential oils. So it's not just something randomly, selected. There's thousands of hours of time and research to identify these locations, and also work with farmers there on the ground that likely are already, producing these crops that are native to that environment. Um, so one of the things that really sets doTERRA apart is the sourcing, but it's not just traditional sourcing. As like I mentioned, we don't work with the middlemen. We work directly with our growers and farmers. So that's something so important, and that is what really sets us apart as far as the purity and the efficacy of the essential oil and the final product. Okay, next, another huge thing is our CoImpact Sourcing initiative. We do not just work with, the growers and the farmers, and we get the oils and that's it. Many times, and I want to pull up all of the list of all the things that we do to really responsibly source with our partners. So with CoImpact Sourcing, what that really means is that we're sourcing from these growers and farmers, and we really are developing these partnerships. A lot of times growers and farmers are not paid on time. They have to wait for their payments. They're not working under fair or good conditions, et cetera. And so really what we're doing is we're helping to generate jobs in many of these areas. Most of our sourcing actually comes from third world countries. And we're really reducing the poverty levels, and we're creating, many sustainable jobs for these people. And then it's also fair and on-time payments. We provide these payments that are very consistent, and they're fair to, the producers, and they even prepay many times the production for the crop that is coming. Because, like any crop, you're not going to, reap the benefits of the crop year round, right? There's going to be a season where you harvest that crop. And so many times they have to be paid regularly throughout the year or in advance for what we know is coming. And then there's also builder supply capacity. So we support the farmers, we support the producers, the distillers through training, through education, through finances. It just in many ways to ensure that there's stability. We have long-term partnerships, so we have multi-year contracts. We have exclusivity with our farmers and growers, so that there's just this honesty and this connection back and forth. It's a two-way communication channel, and expectation of high quality. And then we also always have fair labor conditions, of course. It's just healthy and safe work environments. We promote co-ops, cooperatives. We also help with environmental stewardship so that everything is energy efficient technology, renewable energy, and we minimize the waste that comes. One thing people don't know about the essential oil industry is there's a lot of waste and a lot of impact on the carbon footprint. And doTERRA does their best to minimize all of that, use a lot of renewable energy, and they don't waste any aspect of the products that we get. Many times we even source from areas where there's an overgrowth of, a natural tree or whatever. I know Siberian fir is one example in Russia. And it's a huge thing. Actually, it's an, I don't remember off the top of my head, but that's a huge thing because it helps minimize those trees in that region, which have actually become a burden and a problem for that environment in that area. And then last but not least, like facilitating community development. So we have community development projects in many of the areas where we have these co-impact sourcing initiatives, where we help build schools, health clinics, training facilities, clean water systems, et cetera. So I've added the link of Source to You in the comments, and you'll be able to see firsthand exactly where the sourcing comes from, where our products come from, and some of the stories also in many of the areas that we source our essential oils. I also have linked CoImpact Sourcing videos from YouTube. There's a variety out there on almost every oil that doTERRA has that gives you a little backstory into who these people are that we work so closely with on a regular basis. And then last but not least, I really wanted to spend a little time on our, humanitarian impact as a whole. And last year, doTERRA launched a Engage in Good campaign. And this is really what we have really focused on over this last year. Our Healing Hands Foundation, which is really how we give back to communities worldwide, is a nonprofit that doTERRA, is connected with. And so in these Engage in Good, in all these Engage in Good, focuses such as anti-human trafficking, clean water and sanitation, disaster relief, empowering women, global health, self-reliance, and supporting children worldwide. Those have really been the focuses. So you can support any of the initiatives already that doTERRA has in effect, or there are ways that as wellness advocates, you can actually do matching campaigns and work with the Healing Hands Foundation to get, things matched. And so I want to pull up a few statistics. I believe it's right here. So one example with children, in last year, there were over 2 million donated in projects, 46 different projects that were funded, 21 different countries that were served. Anti-human trafficking, we had over 2 million, over 2.5 million donated to projects, 38 projects were funded, and 15 countries were served. So in so many of these areas that we support, with human trafficking, it's such a complex situation. But one thing that's so important with it is that there's support and aftercare for victims that have been involved in it. And that is one thing that I've really been passionate and absolutely love about doTERRA, is because it's not just like releasing people from their situation. It is really supporting them for long-term aftercare and revitalization, and just support with not just food, but shelter, and helping them get back on their feet after they've been, in such a terrible situation. So it's a three-prong approach. It's just, the rescue, the prevention, but then also the aftercare of it. doTERRAhealinghands.org is a really good website that I've linked above as well, that shows all the projects. And if you're a wellness advocate with doTERRA, how you can also do a matching campaign, it's all in the website. And then every year at Leadership, we get a year in review of all of the good that has been done from our Healing Hands Foundation each year. And it's just so beautiful. And so, what started as I just wanted cleaning products in my home, really, it's so much bigger than that. And there is no other company out there that gives and supports humans on this earth like doTERRA does. It is just from the heart of our executives, who are people just like you and me, who are real. And it goes all the way from them to all the advocates that have been with doTERRA for years and really have learned all of the amazing things that doTERRA does. So it was just, I was feeling pulled to share this with you guys today, because it's just so much more. And I just see the greater global impact and the long-term impact that we really are going to have as a company, as more and more people have these essential oils in their home, and more people know the story and the history of doTERRA and why we are so different than other companies out there. So check out the links, check out the resources. If you have any questions, please comment. Let me know. If you personally are an advocate that is doing a matching campaign, I would love to know too. I think that it's an amazing way to not just support like disaster relief, but to support, our local communities that are in need of various things. There's always a way that we can, support the people around us that are, locally impacted. Um, Another thing that I didn't mention that I wanted to, as we wrap up, is that no jobs, even though COVID has been a hard year for most people, doTERRA did not have to release anyone, or our Healing Hands Foundation. We actually increased the amount of people that were working locally at our doTERRA facility by quite a few percent. We actually had a bunch more hiring and many more jobs created. And then also in our communities for our sourcing, our lower sourcing communities, there was no concern with jobs lost or anything like that, just because our company is continuing to grow and flourish and truly be, we're 100% debt free and have been from pretty much the onset. So it's just, we're able to give so much more and support so many more people because we are in such a smart position too as a company. So I wanted to leave you with that. And thanks for being a part of our community. We will see you again next Monday on Mondays with Mel. Bye, everyone.